Step right up with Madam Lightning. I'm back, guys, first of all, and I want to actually thank everybody who was one of my followers who actually sent me kind words and wished me well and left me all the messages and just say that I really appreciate you guys so much for what you said and what you did. And I want to talk a little bit about my experience for the time I was in there, actually. All right. So, first off, I want to say this again as a PSA that mental health, I learned from the way I went to an emergency room. I talked to the front desk people, told them what I was going through, my mental thoughts, my process, and I just had to wait a short while they had me admitted to a room. Uh, so, with that being said, first I want to comment that America really does not take mental health serious enough. And I'm going to get to that later on in the video with my point, but they really don't. Like, I thank all the nurses and all the people who watched over me during the process and took care of me in it, but the actual country does not take it very serious. Like, it's highly underfunded. So, my first day there, I got admitted, and it wasn't directly to the mental health facility the first day. I was at the emergency room. um, so if you've never been through the process, first of all, they confiscate and take your phone, all of your objects, anything like shoestrings, your normal clothes. If you have a belt, anything like that, they take that from you and they hand you what I call primitive clothing. It's basically feels like a paper cloth like pants and kind of looks like a hospital gown, but like a shirt of that. If you were playing Minecraft, it kind of looks like a Minecraft shirt armor like that Steve would wear, but it's not tough at all. Uh, and then for my process, I spent the first 16 hours in the emergency room, uh, in the room for people with mental health issues, under watch, which is what they do is they keep an eye on you, just basically bring you water, do some blood work, stuff like that. Check on your, they basically have you fill out some paperwork and gauge where you're at. Which again, the staff was really good to me there. I don't want to dox myself, so I'm not going to name the hospital or anything, but that's the beginning process. Now, the part I do want to criticize is again, the government does not take mental health serious enough because the nurses on staff were calling all these facilities, trying to get me in and everything. They were, basically putting all the fishing lines out there until somebody bit the bait and got back to them. But the toughest part was the fact that, I was suffering through my mental health and I still had to answer basically a long questionnaire, even though I filled out paperwork at the hospital for them to even consider me getting into some of these mental health facilities, which the first one I answered all the questions on, they didn't even call back. Uh, Three of the facilities they reached out to didn't answer their phone at all. Didn't want, I guess if you don't have money or really good insurance, they won't get back to you. But to the facility that actually accepted me, I do thank you because they were really helpful. And I'm going to talk about that as well. So, again, I want to say this is a PSA. If you do ever have mental health issues and you feel like you're isolated and you can't talk to people, at least do this much for yourself. If you can find your way to an emergency room, go talk to them, fill out the paperwork, even if you don't have insurance, because I didn't have insurance. Because there's medical grants and all kinds of programs they can use to help you out in the end of the process, which I'll talk about as well. But talk to them at least, get to an ER, get admitted so they can find you somewhere so that you don't, continue to suffer and, unfortunately take the wrong steps. So my process was again 16 hours in the ER, and then I ended up having all my stuff still bagged, labeled, and confiscated. Didn't even have my shoes. Now, pro tip: bring Crocs. Bring Crocs, even if you hate Crocs. They let you wear Crocs because they don't have shoestrings. They're open toe shoes, and you can't hide things in it. Bring Crocs and at least one pair of clothing and a few pairs of underwear. And don't bring tube socks. Do not bring tube socks because they don't allow you to have tube socks. So bring like small socks or something. Obviously, not everybody who's having mental health issues is going to think this through, which is why I'm walking through the process of it. So my trip there, once I was admitted, was they had me go by an ER ambulance or an EMR or whatever you call the vehicles, and I got there the first day. They had me fill out a little more paperwork, just like the waivers you sign and stuff that say, "Hey, we're going to evaluate you, and we'll let you go when we feel that you're okay and safe enough to go." And it wasn't a struggle for me. I actually had really good nurses and staff there. The first day I got checked in, I kind of felt isolated at first because surroundings with none of the stuff you're used to having. You don't get your cell phone. Make sure you write the phone numbers of people down that you want to be able to call while you're in the facilities. Because I made that mistake and only had my wife's number memorized, and that was a real backbiter for me because I couldn't tell anybody else how I was doing that was panicking. So yeah, make sure you write down the phone numbers because you can't get your phone or get access to it once you're in there to even get one number out of there. So that's another tip I want to give. So I was there the first day. They had like a little rec room where everybody meets together. It's basically like a community, is how I see it. I mean, not everybody obviously likes to socialize, or depending on what you're in there for, because there could be a multitude of things like smugs abuse, or can even be like domestic disputes that caused you to go in there, just literally having mental breakdowns. There's all kinds of people that you go in there. Me personally, my experience was when I first got there and checked in and they gave me my room. um, Make sure you ask for a hygiene kit so they can bring you one, because you don't even get like soap or anything. Or you can, no, if you are thinking enough, pack like some shampoo and conditioner and stuff, because the soap, shampoo, and conditioner sucks there. And the deodorant sticks are horrible. So make sure you have a deodorant stick, because the ones they give you do not hide funk. I learned that the hard way. But yeah, I socialized with people because that's just the kind of person I am. If you can't tell from my TikTok, I socialize with people, learn their stories. The first day was about that. Ironically enough, since I love Uno, nobody would talk about their problems unless they were playing a card game or spades or Uno or coloring at the table. It made a good way for us to talk about stuff and learn from each other, because learning from other people's experiences does actually help you grow and kind of get a perception on things, because perception is everything. Without perception, you don't have a view of anything in life. So I ended up making friends with this person. I'll change his name to Smiths instead of his real name. Really cool guy. He helped me through a lot because I'm not religious, but I will say this. I did actually find a light in there that gave me an answer. Like, I got a lot of clarity because I didn't know where my strength was even coming from in there that was pushing me forward. But I met a gentleman in there. I want to say he was one of God's prophets. I don't know. Like the way he talked, I've never heard someone talk like that before. But he did actually, give me some clarity, and it helped me out. But the staff was really nice. The meals were good there. They had a nice routine. If you get at a decent facility, they don't cut the phones off at certain times and actually let everybody make calls multiple times a day to check on their family if they want. Um, I mean, most of it, ooh, B, most of it is basically you're there doing like participate in group meetings if you can. You learn a lot of key things. I was only there for 3 days, but I learned a lot through those group meetings because they show you how to do self coping skills. Obviously, you have your counselors too there. They check on you, talk to you, see how you're doing, evaluate you, help you understand yourself through asking a bunch of questions about your past, people you know, friends, things like that. They help you learn a plan for yourself for when you get out, and they also help you build a lot of skills when you go back into. So my second day was like that as well. Basically, the roughest part was learning to sleep with the pillow they give you, because I'm used to using 3, 4 pillows. I had to use a thin pillow. There's that bee again. He's coming to get me. But yeah, I had a good experience overall. The nurses were great to me. Didn't have any issues. They took good care of us. They fed us good. They made sure we had everything we needed in the tools, color pencils. And what I'm going to do is get back to them whenever I get some time to go back that way, drop off some board games and stuff so other people can do what I did through learning.